How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Master Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stoutness in the form of the North Brewing's. It's their Pastry Clouds. Yeah, the North. Done a couple of their beers. Not too far away from me, a bit over an hour up at Endicott, New York, just close to Binghamton. They've been around for a while, but they've just started to kind of hit their stride, especially with these bigger beers, dark beers. They're all about the kind of stouts up there. They make IPAs and quite nice ones, but these kind of stouts, these bigger stouts, have been their thing as of late. And they just had like a release of a bunch of them called Revenge of the Stouts. It was just today, actually. Buddy of mine, Brian, thank you very much, Brian, went up there and picked me up a 5-pack of their releases, and it's the first one I'm reviewing. So yeah, let's dive into it, see what she's got. As far as what it says Pastry Clouds. It's a Russian Imperial Stout aged in whiskey barrels, aged on Vietnamese coconut and cinnamon. And that's that. Yeah. Label-wise, it's cool for a couple of reasons. One, white label. Not much going on except lettering, unless you look really, really close, which you're probably not going to be able to see on camera at all in any form or fashion. But there's penises all over this thing. You look really hard in that label. There's testes and wieners and all kinds of stuff in there. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. Makes me laugh. So there we go. Let's crack in this sucker, see what she's got. So coconut and cinnamon in whiskey barrels. What kind of whiskey barrels? I don't know. I could probably find out. I believe Zach, the owner of the North and brewer up there, gets a lot of his barrels from my buddy Dimitri. Owns a bar in Scranton. He's kind of opening a new bar, let's put it that way. So probably, I forget what he gets. I think it might be Heaven Hill. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, there was a quarter of a pinky finger of malted malt ball just north of that, just south of where like my coffee colored head, and she'd be dark. Definitely Russian Imperial Stout in viscousness and body, dark as dark could be. So yeah, does she look like a Russian Imperial Stout? Sure. Does she smell like one with coconut and cinnamon? Vietnamese coconut, sorry, and cinnamon. Let's find out. She does, actually. You get a nice kind of, not faint, but fainter than the rest of the beer. Cinnamon. Definitely get a bit of that coconut in there. Coconut / vanilla. Is that coming from the barrel? Is it coming from coconut? I think it's a bit of both. And you're definitely getting that whiskey in there, that bourbon. It's got this nice, rich, subtle kind of candied red fruit component to it. This beer reminds me of something, but it smells pretty damn nice. Bit of subtle dark malts in there, and that's pretty much it. Definitely comes off pastry-like for you pastry heads out there. New style of beer. Those pastry stouts for you dough boys that love those things, us neckbeards and beer nerds and all that kind of stuff. So she looks good. She smells good. Let's see what she tastes like. Cheers. That doesn't suck. It's not in your face impactful. It's what, 11% I think it is ABV. They actually write it on here. I don't. Yeah, 11% right under there in the Clouds. You do get a little bit of heat off of it. But nothing too crazy. Just enough there to let you know it's a bigger beer. I'm jerking it's a little bit warmer too. It sat in my fridge for a couple hours, so, but she's probably closer to 55 to 60 than 50, which I'm totally okay with. That cinnamon's coming through more and more with each sip, which kind of makes sense. It does lack a bit of body, a little bit thinner than you like it to be. It's a barrel-aged beer. It's got adjuncts going on in it that sometimes can kind of put the kibosh and that kind of density you look for in Russian Imperial Stout. So it's not out of the realm of being okay. It's not thin by any means, but you wish you had a little bit more density to it. But it's nice. The beer's a little bit lost in some of that barrel, some of that whiskey, some of those adjuncts, but it's not lost completely. It's there. The whiskey comes through nice, not overly hot. There's a nice kind of like I said, that candied kind of dark fruit component to it. You're definitely getting the cinnamon. You're definitely getting that kind of vanilla coconut thing, which I think is a marriage of the barrel and the coconut. And she's nice, super tasty. You know, like in a perfect world, sure, get a little bit more body to her, a little bit more density. Maybe have that beer a little bigger, a little bit more kind of a robust malt. There were kind of is even with a lot of those kind of adjuncts from the barrel and everything else. But all in all, pretty damn tasty stuff. Something that I actually I'm glad I opened sooner rather than later. I think this would age nicely, but I think a lot of those spices would drop out. And while the beer, I think, would get much more impactful, much more rounded, much more robust, I think you'd lose a little bit of the spices. I don't think a little bit of age would hurt it, but a lot of age not necessarily would hurt it, but it would kind of lose a little bit of its personality, especially that coconut and that cinnamon. But yeah, pretty tasty stuff. Like I said, 1 out of 5. There was 5 total in that box, so can't wait to dive into all of them because, yeah, this is probably the 7th. No, probably about 10th beer I've had from North, maybe about the 6th dark one. And this is probably one of the more rounded, one of the more cohesive ones I have, so the beers keep getting better and better. More, I don't want to say technically sound, because that sounds kind of douchey, but a bit more balanced, a bit more of a deft hand in them. So, yeah, super excited to try the rest of them, and the rest of the stuff that comes out, because it's a cool fucking brewery. The owner is super cool, very loud, very opinionated, which is my kind of brewer. Not in that kind of douchey way, though, but it's more of kind of a passionate kind of way. So the stuff they do up there, they do the hop forward stuff, but they also do a lot of these kind of pastry style stouts and these kind of big adjunct laden stouts that are right up my alley. Even though I don't review them, a lot of them as of late. Maybe it's a weather thing, I don't know. But yeah, tasty stuff. So let's talk about it. It's one of the better barrel aged stouts that I've had as of late. No, there's ones that I like better, especially if it's ABV. But is it one of the more, one of the better local ones I've had? Absolutely. And one of the more, and I use this word positively, lighter, delicate barrel aged ones. A lot of these barrel aged beers tend to get a little bit too much. I don't know what's the word, out of hand. People just throwing crazy whiskey at it, throwing crazy adjuncts at it. This one has a bit more kind of subtlety to it, and that's kind of a nice kind of change of pace, let's put it that way. Value and availability, I think it was $13 a bottle. That's kind of actually a little bit less than market value when it comes to a lot of these barrel-aged beers as of late. So not too bad. I mean, it's that 500 milliliter kind of Maine Beer Company style bottle, so it's not a 750, but yeah, not too shabby. Brewery only, and I'm seeing friends that pick them up for it. That's pretty awesome. And just say if you like what we like this. If you like your kind of spiced, if you like your Mexican chocolate stouts without the chilies, because that's where you're going here. You have the cinnamon, you have this coconut vanilla thing going on. You're getting that chocolate from roasted malts, and you're getting that stouty mixed-outy pastry in this. So if you like those kind of beers, but the chilies don't really do it for you, then this is definitely going to be right up your alley. Or, let's put it this way, if you like good beers from a brewery trying to do fun things, there's a lot of ways to make fun beer. There's the big, huge stout portion of the show. There is this super hazy, crazy IPA portion of the show. There is the I'm just a terroir-based, organic, you know what I mean, malted, funky, kind of saison-y guy. There's the I make weird kind of wild yeast guy. So there's a lot of ways to make good, interesting, well-made beers. And these guys are doing that on this front. And again, not that they only do that, but this is kind of what I know them for and what they're known for. And what they do pretty damn well. So if you're looking for these kind of beers and just interesting, creative stuff, it's worth the trip. Especially, I mean, you're coming down from up Canada way, from up Syracuse way. If you're coming down south and you're taking basically 81 through down from Binghamton to Scranton, Pennsylvania, that kind of corridor, it's not too far off the highway. So it's absolutely a must if you're going to be driving that way and you're in the beer. There's a couple breweries in and around the area, and this is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're in the area. So there you go, another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tapped. Massive beers, all 4 of those places if you want to check this dude out anywhere else. And There you go, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice penis-laden snow clouds right now, and snow clouds, pastry clouds. Snow clouds is their other beer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully enjoyed a nice beer right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.